Hey, today we're talking about something that's easy to misunderstand if you're in the thick of it. Feeling like food has this strange power over you. Whether it's the 9 p.m. pantry visits, the spiral of, I was doing so well earlier, or just feeling like your hunger doesn't make sense anymore. I want to help you make sense of it. This episode is going to walk you through a few of the most common reasons that food feels hard to manage, even if you're trying to do everything right. And if this is something you've been dealing with for a while, stay tuned. I'll tell you how you can save your seat for an upcoming masterclass that I'm teaching that goes even deeper. Welcome to One Body to Love, where we're rewriting the rules around food, body image, and self-acceptance. I'm Dr. Meredith McKenzie, therapist, coach, and your guide to a life free from diet culture and food guilt. If you ever felt stuck in the cycle of binging, restricting, or struggling to feel at home in your body, you're in the right place. Each week, we'll explore emotional eating, body image, and joyful movement through solo episodes, expert interviews, and real-life coaching sessions. Because your body is not the problem. This is your space to learn, heal, and finally break free, and to discover what it means to love the body you're in. Let's start with the one that surprises people the most, and that's that you might not be eating enough. Not in a like you forgot your lunch one day kind of way. I'm talking about chronic undereating. Starting the day with a light breakfast, skipping snacks, or eating in a way that looks good on paper, but just isn't enough for your body. When I hear clients talk about this, it often comes from an intention of portion control. So they either are trying to cut back on certain items because they worry about the caloric content of those things, or it is that they are truly just cutting back on how much they're eating. Maybe they feel like they've had enough by the end of the meal because they're no longer feeling that sensation of hunger, but they're not feeling satisfied, contented, or their stomach isn't truly had enough. And because of that, they end up feeling hungry again so much sooner. When that happens, it's not a willpower issue if you end up eating a lot later. Your body is actually trying to catch up. And if you're someone who pushes through hunger or ignores those subtle cues, eventually your body steps in and doesn't whisper anymore. It's yelling. So one of the first things I work with clients is simply making sure that they're eating enough during the day before the overeating even starts. Even if you're technically eating enough, food can still feel intense if you're mentally restricting. So that is the second thing that you might be doing. That might look like avoiding certain foods or saving up calories for later or eating something safe, in air quotes, when what you actually want is something else. Here's what happens. The more you tell yourself you shouldn't have something, the louder that craving is going to become. It's not about being indulgent or reckless. It's about how the brain reacts to deprivation. And that isn't just for food. It's for all the other ways that we might feel deprived. I often make this comparison to if you ever know of children in your life who maybe were never exposed to screens or didn't have candy. They are the first ones to beeline it for the treats table at a party or to be the one sitting in front of the television because that sense of deprivation and the novelty of those things is so high. So this is where giving yourself permission truly comes in. And it's not fake permission, like I'll eat this now, but I'll be better tomorrow. We're not making any promises or ways that we're compensating for what we're eating, but it's actual permission to enjoy food without guilt. And that's what truly helps urgency fade over time. The third thing you might be doing is that you're just mentally exhausted. And this one doesn't get talked about enough because food can feel like a lifeline when you are completely emotionally spent. And it makes sense from a biological standpoint because if you are not having enough fuel in the tank from a sleep perspective, your body is going to try to find fuel elsewhere. And I'm not just talking about feeling sadness or stress. I'm talking about the kind of quiet, chronic mental exhaustion that builds up all day long when you're juggling too many things, when you're making decisions for everyone else, keeping it all together, and then never really getting an opportunity to land. So by the end of the day, your brain has been running in the background nonstop. You have so many tabs open. And even if you ate enough physically, even if nothing bad happened that day, your system is still overloaded. And I want you to just take a moment and let that sit with you and think about it, because if you are the woman that I'm thinking of as I say this, you know what I mean. You feel this, and I just want you to know that that is a very real feeling, and the exhaustion that you feel as a result of it, that is very valid, and that could be one of the big reasons that you're struggling with your relationship with food. So in these situations, food offers a way to soften the edge. And this is especially true for women who carry a lot of invisible labor. Mothers, caregivers, teachers, therapists, leaders. You get to the evening and your body is just done. But because we are so used to pushing through, we don't give ourselves credit for how draining it all is. So you might think, well, I wasn't even that hungry, or why can't I just relax without eating food? I didn't even enjoy that much. Why did I do that? But the truth is, your body was trying to bring you down from a state of depletion. And here's what's interesting. A lot of my clients that I work with, they find that once they build a real recovery throughout the day, pauses, opportunities for pleasure, setting boundaries, unstructured moments in their day, the evening eating really starts to shift all on its own without making any other efforts. It's not about removing the food. It's about tending to the need before the food becomes the only option that's left. The next situation that you might be missing is something called taste hunger. This is when you're not physically hungry, but something just tastes good and you want more. You know what I'm talking about. It's also totally normal. But if you find yourself chasing a flavor long after you're feeling physically full, it's worth looking at how tuned in you are with what you're really eating. A lot of my clients come to me eating on autopilot, especially in the evenings in front of the television. Slowing down, getting present, even just for a few bites, because we want to crash on the couch, let's be honest. Even just being present for a few moments can make a big difference. Noticing what it is that's going on for you internally in these moments. And yes, permitting yourself to eat the thing that you're truly wanting, following that taste hunger, but then listening to your body as well. So let's pull it all together. If food feels confusing or hard to manage, it could be that you're not eating enough to meet your actual needs, that you're stuck in mental rules or restrictions, expectations for yourself about what you should be eating. You're burned out and your body is craving relief, or that you're reaching for pleasure because your brain hasn't had it all day. And all of that makes sense. I just want to say that. If you want to learn more about how this all plays out and how to interrupt that binge-restrict cycle, I'm teaching a free masterclass called Break the Binge. I'll walk you through a very simple strategy that you can start using right away to calm that food fixation without tracking, restricting, or forcing yourself to do something that doesn't feel right. So you can save your seat at meredithmackenzie.ca/break-the-binge. And I hope to see you there. That's it for today's episode of One Body to Love. I'm so grateful you chose to spend this time with me. These conversations around food and body image can be deeply personal, and the fact that you showed up today open and curious means more than I can say. If today's episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Come connect with me on Instagram at Dr. Meredith Mackenzie. Send me a message, share what stood out, or just say hi. If you're ready to take the next step toward food freedom and finally feel at home in your body, head to meredithmackenzie.ca/OBTL to learn more about the One Body to Love program. You'll find everything you need to begin healing your relationship with food with support every step of the way. If you're enjoying the show, one of the best ways to show support is by leaving a quick rating and review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening. Your words help more women find this space and feel less alone. Until next time, be gentle with yourself. You deserve a life of peace with food and your body.